Welcome to Addicted to Triathlon. Whether you've been doing triathlons for years or you want to do your first one and don't know how to start, listen to our podcast, read our articles, check out our videos, and ask us questions. We would love to be a part of your journey and become addicted to triathlon.
Hi, welcome to Addicted to Triathlon, episode number 2. Ooh, I'm John.
I'm Kate.
And this time we're going to be talking about swimming. So, Caitlin,
The greatest weakness.
tell us about your experience when you tried to go swim your first time when you decided to do a triathlon.
It was the worst. I thought I was suffocating and drowning and being terrorized.
How far did you get?
One all the way down the pool.
Just one length. So
And I was like hyperventilating. And I mean, as you all know, I'm a runner. So I thought it'd be easy to swim. But you're using different muscles and you're breathing different. It's a different rhythm and everything. So I just couldn't breathe.
Right. So the first time I saw
I
you,
was flailing like a fish.
the first time I saw you, I was thinking, I thought you knew how to swim.
Yeah.
So when you got all the way to the end of the pool and you were already tired, and you're like, I can't do this.
No.
We had to start completely over with the basics.
So, yeah, he told me to blow bubbles.
Yeah, so just get in the water.
So
And
I
just
blew bubbles like a baby.
get under the water and blow bubbles.
And hold on to the wall.
That was the second part.
Yeah, hold on to the wall and blow bubbles.
First, we had to get your head in the water
Yeah.
and not panic. So,
I mean, I've known how to swim. Just regular swim before,
right,
You could swim out to the dock, but I was like, what do you call it?
breaststroke.
Breaststroke or doggy paddle. Yeah.
You could do a triathlon doggy paddling.
No,
that would work.
I've seen it before.
Okay, so we had you just squat in the water and blow bubbles to get you used to not being able to breathe whenever you wanted to. Then the next thing we did was we made you hang onto the wall on your belly with your feet sticking out. You could kick a little bit to try to keep your feet up, not hard, just a little bit. Stretch out while hanging to the wall.
Yeah.
And then keep blowing bubbles.
Until you calm down.
Yeah, because you couldn't do anything unless you learned to calm down with your head in your water in that position.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll add to that. I mean, in the end, like now, you go back, I mean, that helps with anxiety. I mean,
Yeah.
like just day-to-day anxiety, you just put your head underwater and breathe different, and it like resets everything. I don't know how, but the breathing thing mechanism for anxiety. I mean, that's kind of like the same thing.
So what we got you comfortable with doing that and turning your head to the side, trying to breathe that way, and then putting your head back in the water and just blowing out your mouth or your nose. It really didn't matter at that point, but the mouth is a lot easier. Then the next thing was we told you to do the Superman off the wall. So
yeah. The kicking.
So you just pushed off the wall and you acted like you were Superman. With
Oh, yeah.
Arms out, feet out, and try to stay as horizontal as you can. No kicking, just to see how far you could go so you could be comfortable.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so we did that. We did that a lot. Just so you could get comfortable. The whole goal is to make you comfortable in the water, because everything in your brain is fighting you to get air.
Yeah, because, I mean, going back to seeing people in the triathlon, their first triathlon, you can tell they haven't practiced and they're freaking out.
Right. Yes. The number one thing.
And I couldn't imagine if I didn't go through what I went through here
Uh-huh. Yeah, the number one thing
and just went in a triathlon.
the number one thing with swimming is relaxing. You can actually go faster if
Which
you're
I'm learning now.
relaxed.
And you don't even have to go fast, like with your arms. You don't have to kick fast. You just go slow, but I'm going faster.
Right.
Yeah.
So then after we started doing the Superman, pushing off the walls, then we just had you do a couple of strokes with your arm, making sure you bend at the elbow. You don't want to keep
That's
your
That's the hard part.
you don't want to keep your arm stiff because you can hurt your shoulder,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Which
Tell us your experience with your shoulder.
it's kind of hard to explain, but my shoulder, like somewhere in the arm, in the triceps or the biceps, it pops out, the muscle.
You used to say it was your shoulder popped out.
Yeah, but I learned it pops out, and so I'm like flailing like a fish trying to get it popped back in,
And it hurts.
and it hurts, and you can't breathe. So you got to make sure that you put your arms right and put them straight, and don't twist
Not put them
them.
straight.
I mean, not straight, but
Bend your elbow.
bend your elbow in.
Right.
Don't turn your arm the wrong way. I mean, lots of other people not like bend their elbow with their arms that pop out, but
Right, but yours do. So we have to.
you had yours pop out.
Mine popped out. Yeah, at another time, but that's when I knew what happened to you. Oh, that's what it is.
So yeah, I haven't popped out since I'm doing the technique correctly.
Okay, so we go back again to the Superman off the wall, take a couple strokes, and then go start over. And you just keep doing that until you get comfortable with that.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, exactly. So then you do that and you keep adding to taking more strokes. Then you have to learn how to breathe.
Yeah.
So you turn your head to
And
the
if
side.
you start hyperventilating, you hold your breath for a minute.
Huh?
Well, you hold your breath when you're when
If-
do you hold your breath?
Oh, well, that's when you're trying to learn how to control your breathing.
Yeah, you like hold your breath and it like resets you.
Yeah. What's actually happening in your body when you do panic is you have a buildup of carbon dioxide when you breathe out. If you hold your breath, the thing that actually makes you breathe is not the lack of oxygen, but the buildup of carbon dioxide. Did you know that?
No.
That was a high school experiment we did in science class, biology. Yeah, so that's actually the trigger that makes you panic. So we need
With your hippopotamus.
your
Your hippocampus. I was just making that.
hippopotamus.
Your hippocampus.
So when you panic, there are techniques that you can do, which we can talk about later, but techniques we can do for you to learn how to calm down when that happens. Because there'll be times when you're actually in a triathlon, especially if you're going to do open water swim, and you turn to breathe and some person is next to you and the water will splash in your mouth.
In your mouth, and you drink so much water. And you want to throw up or you want to burp.
And it'll throw off your rhythm and you'll immediately panic.
Yeah.
So the earlier that you can learn how to avoid panicking, the much better it is for you as a swimmer when you're doing triathlons. So one of the tricks that I taught Caitlin was learning how to do the breaststroke. So immediately when you're totally freaking and you don't have control of it, just switch to the breaststroke. You don't have to use your feet, just your arms.
So you're just like, you got to explain what the...
So a breaststroke is your two arms are out in front of you, but your head is completely out of the water.
And you're
just
pushing the water
just
side.
pushing the water from front to back. If you don't know what a breaststroke is, you can look it up in videos. But it's very simple, and you can actually keep moving
Or you
forward.
can doggy paddle, that would wear you out.
Yeah, that would wear you out. You don't have
Or
to
you can
kick.
go on your back.
And that's the other thing. So you might hear people say, roll over on your back. But if you haven't practiced doing the backstroke, That's a whole other.
It's not a backstroke. You're just floating.
But what do people normally do? What do our kids do when we taught them how to lay on their back? Immediately they bent and made a V because they put their butts down,
Yeah.
and then they sank.
You hold your butt up.
Yeah, so you have to use your abs and push your belly up in the air. And if you don't know how to do that, if someone just says roll over on your back, you will immediately, your butt will sink, and then you will sink, and then you will panic some more. So the easy way to do it, while you can still go forward, is go to a breaststroke, just using your arms.
That's easy.
You can kick a little bit to keep a little bit horizontal,
But if you kick too much, you're going to cramp.
you're going to get tired. So the whole goal is I'm going to overcome my panicking instead of trying to keep doing the freestyle stroke, something where I can catch my breath and then keep moving forward, and then you can go back into your swim stroke. So those are some things that you can do. Plus, if when you're doing backstroke, you can't see where you're going. You're going to run into people. You're going to...
But no, what if you just need to rest and float for a minute and gather yourself?
Only if you know how to do it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier.
I don't.
It's a lot easier just to do the breaststroke.
Yeah.
That's the most easy thing. In fact, we saw a guy in the last triathlon. He obviously didn't practice his swim.
He was worried.
He didn't make it
I was
50 yards, and you could see him panicking. It was a mass start of his age group. He was trying to go hard at the beginning, and
It's a bunch of young 30-year-olds.
yeah, and he panicked right away. And we were all watching him from the side. Everyone was ready to jump in and help him. People were telling him to go on his back. He gave up and started swimming towards the shore. And he's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So, he luckily he was, when he was saying that, he was almost by the shore and he could just stand up.
And people were saying, you can go out. You can go back out there. But I could see in his mind, I mean, if you're expressing yourself out loud,
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it. If you say you can't do it and it's inside you can't do it,
Yeah,
you're not going to do
He
it.
shut down all the way. He
can
only
tell.
he only went 25 yards, and it was 500. and he was on the side closest to the
was
shore.
down.
He wasn't even going to make it all the way around. So, and we'll talk about that, open water swimming. But the important thing is you practice everything in the pool. You practice your swimming. You practice your breathing. You practice panicking. I still have moments now when I panic. This morning when we did our swim, you swam by and your wave went right in my mouth.
Did I scare you?
And
Because it was so fast.
I totally, my brain instantly panicked. But then I was like, calm down. It's okay. Breathe on the
She's
next.
passing you.
Breathe on the next. You're going the other way.
Oh.
It's okay. You can hold your breath for at least 4 strokes. So it's only going to be 2 more strokes. So it wasn't that big a deal. But it happens to everybody. Instantly, your brain will panic. So just different things happen.
And when I was going through stuff like learning how to swim, it really helps you with like life.
Yeah, if you can overcome panicking.
Yeah, and swimming, it'll help you overcome anxiety when you're in front of people trying to talk, or
You get that phone call and you're getting yelled at by somebody.
you just start doing the swimming breathing.
You just calm down. You will learn. It will become automatic. Any kind of anxiety, like suddenly I'm taking deep breaths or I'm regulating my breathing to help calm me down.
And yeah, when I was in college, I always said, "Oh, I want to go swimming, John." And I went swimming that night, and I felt so less anxious. And you sleep so much better at night if you swim at night or even in the morning.
And you get hungry after
Sleep,
swimming.
and you get hungry.
So be careful about getting hungry, because Kaylin gets hungry after swimming.
Mm-hmm.
She could eat a cow. And she'll say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what other things do we have for swimming? So you learn how to swim. You were able to do your first triathlon in the pool.
Yeah.
It was a 50-meter pool, and the middle of it was really deep. Did you
Yes.
panic?
Yes.
Because you could see all the way
Yeah.
down?
Yeah. Really, I panicked just because it was a longer pool. It was 50 meters,
Mhm.
seemed like longer instead of 25.
Right.
But
It was at an Olympic pool, so 50 meters, yeah.
just kind of.
So if you have a chance, go try other pools.
And at times during that first one, I had to, what was the thing?
The breaststroke?
Breaststroke a couple times. 'Cause
Yeah, that-
was my breathing.
That one, people were leaving every 10 seconds. So if the person behind you was faster, they're going to pass you right away
Yeah. At least when you're in open water, you can be out on the side.
on the side.
But swimming in a triathlon, you have to, people are like passing you and you have to hurry up because people are behind you and it's like close.
Yeah, let's talk about triathlons in a pool.
There's difference.
Yeah. So the one we did in Katy after the pandemic, it was a 300-meter swim. So it was a much smaller swim, but it was a 25-meter pool. So they had a six lanes blocked off,
And it was all shallow.
and it was completely shallow. You could walk you could walk the whole
Yeah, we
thing.
saw 'em.
Yes.
We saw people doing it.
So if you're a beginner, that's probably the kind of triathlon you want to
Katy,
do.
Texas.
It's where you could, if you needed to stand up, you just stood up. So people would be lined up, and you'd jump in the pool, and you would leave about every 10 or 15 seconds, and you would swim down one lane and then come back, turn around and come back on the same lane but on the other side. And when you came back, you would go under the lane ropes and then swim down the next lane and then come back that same lane but on the other side. And then you did it. You did that for a total of 6 lanes for 300 yards.
I'm kind of like in the open water now.
Really?
Just because you can go out on the side of the mass swimmers and do your own thing.
The thing with the pool.
You just have to deal with open water.
Yeah, the thing with the pool swim is they ask you what your swim time is, what you think you're going to do. So when you sign up, you're thinking you're going to be slow, and then you practice it and you're faster. So if you practice,
But still, the slow people get mixed in with them.
right, and that's exactly so. The people in front of me were slower. So then in between you going out and people coming back, you had that
Yeah.
kind of like in the middle, right on top of the lane line, where you could try to pass people, but someone could be trying to pass coming back the other way, so you could actually run into each other, which happens. But
Yeah, so I like the open water. You can just do your own thing on the side and pay attention to the buoys and do your own thing.
okay, we're going to talk about open water swimming then.
Yeah.
Okay, so before you did your first open water swim, we went to a lake, Mammoth Lake, near Clute, Texas.
Yeah.
It's a man-made lake, and it's for divers. So it's for diving people, diving club. So they would be in their scuba gear, and they'd pop up out of nowhere while we're out there swimming.
There's bubbles going.
So the first time we did it, we hugged the shoreline. So if you panicked and like had a complete panic attack, we could go to the several docks that were on the side.
Yeah.
So we just went from dock to dock to dock to dock, so you could get comfortable with that, right? And then we picked. They had different buoys out along the place in the middle of the lake. So we would sit on the dock and we would say, we're going to go to that buoy, go around it, and come back. So that gives you kind of a practice for going around buoys. So how do you remember when we did that? How did you feel?
I'm nervous because I thought the alligators were going to get me.
But that lake doesn't have alligators.
Yeah.
It just had fish.
I thought they were going to jump up and get me.
And then we had
And it was dark.
the water was a little bit dark here. It was clear. It's a lot clearer than the lake swims that we do in triathlons, but
But you just try not to think about it.
So, but a few times you panicked and you
Yeah.
immediately went to the breaststroke because that's what you learn in the pool.
Yeah.
And that's what you did at the lake. So I was swimming next to you and I could see you. So I was just kind of shadowing you. And then when you would panic, I just kind of stopped.
Yeah,
there
so
with
make
you.
sure when you go open water swimming, you don't swim by yourself.
Oh, definitely. Make sure you're there. They have these little buoys that you can tie to your waist.
Yeah.
And then you blow them up.
Yeah.
And then if you really panic, you could just grab it and it'll keep you afloat. So there's those safety things. If you go to a lake where there's boats or jet skis, you definitely get one of those because then the boats and the jet skis can see it in the water. They might not see you, but they'll see the little buoy moving.
Yeah.
So make sure you get one of those. Okay, and then we went back another time, and I said, okay, we're going to swim straight across right in the middle. And tell us how you thought about that, what you thought about that one.
It was far. It was like the 50-meter pool.
It was a lot farther than that.
I know. It was just, just the overwhelming.
Yeah, I think it was like 700 yards
Yeah.
across the pool.
But it was only 700.
Yeah. If you did that, if you went
But
around...
it seems so...
Actually, it might have been like 600 because if you went around the perimeter, it was 1,500 meters because they did a Olympic triathlon there once. So you could actually, so it was about 600.
Gosh, if you do it now, it'd be so easy.
Right, when we've gone out there, you had no problem going right through the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but you have to practice everything in the pool. You have to practice your distances so you can
You have to
do
practice
the
your
long
technique.
distance.
You have to keep thinking. You can't stop thinking about what you're doing. But then you have to relax at the same time.
Yeah, and it's hard when there's people right next to you, bumping. Let's talk about the start on an open water swim. What you see in
There's a lot of idiots.
like Kona, like what you see in Kona. We call it
The washer.
the washing machine.
Yeah.
You see just arms and water flailing everywhere.
Yeah. And you get kicked. My last triathlon, you get kicked. I got kicked in the head, but it didn't hurt.
Yeah, a couple times I got punched in the face with people doing their
But it's really no
swim.
big deal. You get used to it.
Yeah, so what did we do? Do you remember what we did to practice that in the pool? I swam next to you
We kicked each other.
and I rolled over you
Yeah.
and tried to sink you.
Then I shoved you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what you learned.
It's kind of fun.
So if you have a friend,
Yeah.
go in the pool,
Practice.
swim, bump into each other,
Practice
swim-
hitting each other.
swim over the top of each other, and
Do the UFFs or
yeah, the more comfortable you get in the water with doing all of that stuff, the better you are when you actually have a triathlon. Not all triathlons are that bad. Sometimes I don't even feel anybody because I'm off to the side. Sometimes I want to be in the mix. It just depends on how you feel that day. When you're in the mix and you're trying to go buoy to buoy to buoy, then you're gonna be bumping into people, grabbing.
just to get that fast
You're
time.
gonna feel people touching your feet. You're gonna be feeling people.
But
right
sometimes
next
it's
to
kind
you.
of cool. You can find a person that's in sync with you, which I try to find.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I actually had one on my last triathlon.
Every single time a triathlon, I find a girl that has the same stroke I'm going, and I'm like, okay, so I'm swimming, and when I, turn and breathe, I see her, I'm like, oh, okay, we're in sync.
Pro tip. Hey, that's our first pro tip.
What?
Even though you're not a pro. If you can find someone who swims just as fast as you or a little faster and you can stay behind them, you can actually draft off of them in swimming.
I know, I've done that.
And that's legal.
Yes.
Swimming and drafting and swimming is legal. So when you see like the triathlons on TV, you'll see them lined up one behind the other because the person in the front is actually helping to pull the person behind them. So pro tip there. If you can do that, it's a rare moment for me to find someone like that. Usually they're passing me or I'm passing them. But yeah, this last triathlon there was a big guy.
Yeah,
he was a big guy, and I could see his big old arms in front of me. I'm like, I'm just gonna follow this guy. All right, what else do we have for swimming? Anything else?
We got to how to learn properly. It's just the first part of the triathlon where, I don't know.
It's just mainly technique.
Yes.
Technique.
It's all
and you have to
technique.
relax, but at the same time, it's the first part of the triathlon, and your anxiety and your fears are heightened, but you have to remember how to do your technique and remember how to breathe and everything.
Oh, I do want to bring up something about the swimming in triathlons. You need to, when you sign up for a triathlon, you need to look at any feedback that any other people have had. Because I've been in a feedback about how the race was, how the organizers were, how things were. Because I was in a triathlon. It was, I think, my second open water swim, and they had you swim right next to a jetty, and there was rebar sticking out.
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
I
concrete.
remember that.
And and a
Yes.
bunch of people got cut.
Yes.
Because that's where it was a turn, and people were trying to cut the corner, and people
I
were
like
getting
the little
cut.
man. That was a bay, right? That was a bay.
Where I was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bay. Yes.
So it's good to go on the man-made lakes.
right,
Those
right.
are the best.
But yeah, look for people giving reviews, because
Or the lakes.
you don't want your first triathlon, especially if you're doing open water, to be to get injured. That's so I actually, whenever I see that those people doing a triathlon, I won't sign up for it, just because they didn't take care of people, and you want people to support the athletes. They're out there to have fun. Nobody needs to get injured for that. The other thing for swimming is you really need to make sure that you have your fitness for the swimming, whatever the distance. If it's just 300 meters, you may think that that's not a big deal. You need to be swimming 500, 600, 700 meters in the pool.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, I can do 300 easy.
So just go well beyond that.
Yeah, you need to make sure you can swim longer, because things happen. You will swim slower in your actual race than what you do in the pool.
Or you could, like John, like one time he thought he was going to beat me, and he went to a buoy or something.
I missed the turn buoy.
Missed the turn buoy, and
Yeah, people.
so he had to swim longer than he was supposed to.
The thing was, people were swimming across me, and I'm like, why are people swimming across me? I know where the course is. But that race had a bunch of had 2-foot swells.
Yeah.
So when you were looking for the buoy, you couldn't see it.
No.
So I just got used to
But most
swimming.
of the time, that's what I did, was the breaststroke. Trying to look
Lesson learned.
at the breaststroke, swim. Breaststroke, swim.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I just started following this one girl on the side of me, and we just went in sync.
Right. So lesson learned for me, because I ended up swimming almost double what that distance was, because the kayakers. There's kayakers out there for your safety.
Oh, yeah.
They had to come chase me down, and they're like, "I'm sorry, you went off course. You need to turn around and go back." And I sat up and was doing the breaststroke, and I did a 360, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I am completely off course." So that one was on me. So even after 13 years, that was 12 years, I still had issues. All right, I think that's all we've got
So,
for swimming.
Does everyone know, like, what they should wear for swimming?
Oh, we can do another podcast about episodes.
What do you mean?
I mean, for what to wear, kits.
No, I mean, like, what they should have for, like, swimming, like the pool toys, things that could help.
Oh, the
out.
training? Yeah, we'll do that another episode. This is just the basic, get back in the water, learn how to swim. Here's some horror stories about
Yeah,
Catalan
so hopefully that helps.
and me. So I guess that's all we got.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what we got.
So thanks.
So we got up this morning at 4:45 and did our 900-meter swim.
You're just going to scare them now. Now they're going to think they have to get up at 4:45.
No, it just basically what I'm saying is do it what you can around your schedule.
Around your schedule.
That's you'll hear us say that. Like, there's no reason that you can't do your swim. You could do it after work. You could do it at lunch.
Yeah, I used to do it at lunch.
In the morning, because like it took us a half hour.
Not even that.
Well, I mean less than a half hour.
Because we were doing intervals.
Yeah.
But, okay.
So, all right.
All right.
Good luck, everyone.
Thanks for listening.
Stay addicted.
Bye.
Bye.